What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be fixing the pound for pound top 15 list in the UFC. Now, overall, the pound for pound top 15 is pretty solid, but there are a few people who don't deserve to be there. I can't lie. There's one person in particular who really shouldn't be there. You guys probably know who I'm talking about. But let's get into it. Number 15, hot take, Ian Gary. Hear me out. I know Shavkat beat him, and Shavkat is not on this list, but hear me out. I know a few videos ago I went on a rant how Ian Gary's super overrated. I kind of have to take that back. I can't lie. I think I kind of have to take that back. His wins keep aging really well. Styled on, outstruck Carlos Prates, beat MVP. Now his win against Neal, that's a whatever win really, but I think if he beats Bilal, he's probably better than Shavkat, and he'll probably fight for the belt before Shavkat, even though Shavkat beat him. And who the fuck has Shavkat beaten? Ian Gary. But realistically, well, not realistically, but who the hell else after that? Fucking Wonderboy? Neal? Who else? I don't know. Shavkat is too inactive to be on the pound for pound top 15. He's only on there for quote unquote aura. It's so stupid why Shavkat's on there. I think Ian Gary should be over Shavkat. I think right now, if they were to rematch, I think I would have to favor Ian Gary. He's looking so much better. His performance against Carlos Prates was a really good performance. That was a really good performance, and it's aging very well. If Carlos Prates goes out there and knocks out Leon Edwards, that might be one of the best. That might be Ian Gary's best aging win, honestly. But yeah, moving on to number 14. I put Arman Tsarukyan over Ian Gary for the simple fact that he has a win over a former champ in Charles Oliveira, which is a really good win to have on your resume. He beat Mateus Gamrot. I don't want to hear otherwise. I think he won 49-46. And he has a win over Beneil Dariush. He beat Beneil Dariush in a much better way than Charles Oliveira did. Knocked him out quicker. Very good performance. And if he fucking goes out there in November on the Qatar card and starches Dan Hooker inside of one round, give him the title shot, honestly. In all seriousness, give him the title shot against Toro. But Arman's actually really good. And I am the leader of the Arman Army. I am always advocating for Arman. I think he does deserve the title shot now over Gaethje, which if they do that, I mean, whatever. I don't want to see it, but I obviously will watch it. But yeah, I'm the leader of the Arman Army. I advocate for Arman, man. I was there defending Arman when people were shitting all over him. So yeah, as the leader of the Arman Army, I gotta have him at number 14. If he beats Ilya, honestly, top 3 or 5 wouldn't be fucking crazy. Honestly, really wouldn't. But we got to see how he does against Hooker, honestly. We got to see how he does against Hooker. If him and Hooker have a really competitive back and forth, it might not look too good, but as the leader of the Arman Army, I think we beat Dan Hooker inside of one round. But yeah, moving on to number 13. Magomed Ankalaev. Yeah, I know. How a fall from grace, if you will. After we knocked him out a few weeks ago on UFC 320. Yes, we being Alex Pereira. He does have a win over Alex Pereira. That is his best win. Win over Jan Blachowicz. I thought he beat Jan Blachowicz in their fight, with the 5th round being a 10-8. And a little combo win in Alexander Rakic. If Rakic goes out there and he beats Asmat Murzakanov on that Tom Aspinall Cyril Gahn card, that'll be a pretty decent win, even though Rakic is on a losing streak and really hasn't beaten anybody. But whatever. Ankalaev, he is a really good striker, even though he did get knocked out. He is a good striker, I have to admit that, especially for light heavyweight. But his title reign consisted of a whole lot of nothing. It really did. He got smoked and outstruck by Alex Pereira in 80 seconds. Insane, I know. Yeah, there's not really much I can say about Magomed Ankalaev. I think if he fights Yuri in his next fight, or if he were to fight Yuri next, I believe he loses to Yuri. But a much more winnable fight for him probably would be Carlos Holberg. I do think that fight would favor him more instead of a Yuri matchup. But we'll see what they do with him. Number 13, though, former champ, wins against two former champs and a current champ. So, yeah. Number 12, I got Bully B, Bilal Muhammad. I think Bilal is higher than Magomed. Bilal, as much as people like to shit on him, Bilal is actually really, really talented. I know he's older, but him being that old kind of helps him because he has the experience. He dominated Leon Edwards. Who else did he beat before that? He has a TKO win over Sean Brady, and Sean Brady just made Leon Edwards look like a retard on the ground. So that's even aging any better. His Leon Edwards win is kind of aging to shit. But when he beat him, Leon was the champ, this and that. And he does have a pretty good dominant win over Wonder Boy, a dominant win over Gilbert Burns, a rematch win over Luque. He is a decision machine, but he is winning in a quote-unquote dominant fashion. He's going out there to win. You can't knock him for that. Bilal is pretty good, and he had a really good scrap with JDM, even though I do believe JDM won 49-46, 4-1, Bilal winning the fourth round, even though it was a very competitive round. But yeah, really close round. And honestly, if Bilal goes out there and he beats Ian Gary, he honestly might have to be like a little higher on this list. I don't know. If Bilal beats Ian Gary, that'll honestly be a really good case for him to get another chance at the title. But we'll see how that plays out. I do favor Ian Gary in that matchup, though. Younger, quicker striker. I won't get into it now, but I would favor Ian Gary. But moving on to number 11, Max Blessed Holloway. Max Holloway one spot short of being top 10. I know. His notable wins, fucking dominant performance over Justin Gaethje that led to a knockout. Really good win over Arnold Allen. Retired Dustin Poirier. TKO win or a knockout win over Korean Zombie. Win over Yair Rodriguez. His only stain on his legacy is losing to my GOAT 3 times, Volkanovski. If Volkanovski never existed, Max Holloway honestly would have probably been top 5. Honestly, I don't know. That's another conversation for another day. I don't know. Max Holloway is so good, and he's kind of entered he's not really in a second prime, but he's looking so good in his matchups, and he's been in the UFC for a very long time. He's looking really good, outstriking Justin Gaethje, outstriking Dustin Poirier. His chin at 155 isn't the same as it once was. However, he still has an insane chin. And compared to Volk and Charles Oliveira, he has done the best against Ilia Topuria. He did take a round off of him, in my opinion, before the knockout. And Max is looking really good at 155, especially. He's bulked up properly. He's bulked up properly. Good wins over Gaethje, Poirier, who are former contenders, and Gaethje probably getting the next title shot, even though Max beat him, but whatever. And if they book the Charles Oliveira matchup, which I think they should do, I think he can beat a Charles Oliveira. And honestly, if he beats a Charles Oliveira, give him a title shot against Ilia, I would love to see that fight at 155. I still think Ilia wins, but I think it would be a little bit more competitive for sure. But yeah, Max Holloway. And if he gets two more really good wins, you could honestly shoot him up. I wouldn't be mad if you have him over some people on this list. But yeah, entering the top 10 of the real pound-for-pound list at number 10, we got Dricus du Plessis. Oh my god, man. If Dricus had beaten Hamza, he honestly would have had to have been like top 3 or 4. Notable wins: Izzy, Robert Whittaker, 2 wins over Sean Strickland. What else did he have before that? Finish over Derek Brunson. Yeah, those are his notable wins. He going into the Robert Whittaker fight, everybody thought that, oh, Rob's gonna light this guy up. Rob's gonna style on DDP. DDP looks like a buffoon on the feet, and DDP knocked him out. So there's that. Then going into the Sean Strickland fight, everybody was on the Strickland wave. Strickland's gonna style on him. Strickland's gonna make it look easy. DDP wins a close decision. I thought he won it, but it was a very close decision, controversial at the time. But looking back on it, not so much. And then in his next, in his first title defense against Izzy, Izzy looked really good in that fight. You know, it was 2-2 going into before the submission, and he submits Izzy. Impressive, really good performance. Then after that, a rematch with Sean Strickland, where he pretty much 50-45 Sean Strickland, not even making it look close at all. He made Sean Strickland look like he had just taken up one boxing lesson in his life. He broke Sean Strickland's nose. He just made Sean Strickland look like a fucking dumbass on the feet. And before the Hamza fight, we were all saying that, dude, DDP's looking more technical. He's actually looking really good. And the talk about the Hamza fight was, dude, if DDP can make it out of the first 2 rounds, he's going to school Hamza. And it wasn't like that, honestly, unfortunately. Hamza just dominated him 50-44. But that's just what Hamza does, you know. That's his style, you know. Wrestle, hold, dominant grappling, holding positions, crucifix. But yeah, man, dude, DDP top 10. Honestly, if DDP, I think what they should do with him is give him RDR. If RDR beats Brendan Allen this weekend, and if DDP beats him, fuck it, rematch Hamza. I wouldn't be mad. I really would like to see DDP as the champ again, man. He was so much fun. But yeah, that's about it. Number 9, Tom Aspinall. Now, some people might think he is a little too low, but you got to hear me out. He's in the heavyweight division. It's not his fault that the competition is lacking, but the competition is lacking, man. Like, it's a very shit division. His notable wins: Curtis Blades, Pavlovich, and Volkov. And he has a 100% finish rate. But it's in the heavyweight division. If Tai Tuivasa is still ranked in your division can only be so good. And he is winning in dominant fashion. But it's heavyweight, once again, I have to reiterate that. But if he goes out there and he knocks out Gane in a round, or like if he just finishes Gane faster than Jones, you could probably make a case for him being like a spot or 2 higher. I wouldn't be mad at it. But it's just that I love Tom Aspinall, but it's just the fact that he is in the heavyweight division. It's not his fault, I know, but the division isn't that filled with like a murderous row of contenders. You know, it's not like a lightweight or like who else? What's another really stacked division? Like a bantamweight, featherweight, you know, welterweight. Oh, how did I forget welterweight? It's not like one of those divisions where it's stacked with just contenders on contenders. If freaking if Tai Tuivasa goes on like a 3-fight win streak and he fights Tom Aspinall, that's actually just like proves how retarded. Tai Tuivasa came this close to fighting John Jones. Think about that. Tai Tuivasa almost fought John Jones. That's how bad the heavyweight division is. But yeah, Tom Aspinall, number 9. Number 8, JDM, my boy JDM. Notable wins. His resume, he is a little like in name value, but he is winning in a very good dominant fashion. 49-46 Bilal submitted Randy Brown and UD'd. I thought it was a UD. Most people, if you know, he UD'd Kevin Holland. Yeah, so in the Bilal fight, everybody going into it, dude, Bilal's just gonna dominate JDM. Dude, he was getting controlled by Basil Hafez, who most likely was on roids because it was a short notice opponent. Dude, JDM's gonna get smoked by Bilal. Turns out JDM goes out there, some of the best takedown defense we've seen. Outstrikes Bilal, destroys his face, this and that, and he takes the belt off of Bilal. And in his next defense, he's fighting Islam Makhachev, which tough. It is going to be a tough first defense, but I think, me personally, I think he can get it done. I think he can get it done and beat Islam. And if he beats Islam, honestly, shoot him up into the top 5, man. Shoot him up a few spots, because beating Islam, former pound for pound number 1, former lightweight champ, you got to give it to him, man. That's an impressive win. But yeah, he is just lacking in name value, really. But if he beats an Islam, and then in his next title defense, it's like an Ian Gary, he wins that. Then like a Sean Brady, he wins that. Honestly, pound for pound 5 wouldn't be crazy. But he does have to get through Islam first, and I could see that. I will be picking JDM, but he does have to get past Islam first. But yeah, number 8, Jack Della Maddalena. And honestly, I wouldn't be mad if somebody had Aspinall over JDM. I just wouldn't do it just because JDM is in a better weight division. He is in a better weight class. He has fought slightly better levels of competition relative to the weight class. So yeah, I would have JDM over Aspinall, but it wouldn't be crazy if you did have Aspinall over JDM. So yeah, going on to number 7. Hot take, I know, Khamzat Chimaev. I don't think Khamzat should be top 4. Bro, if you're going to defend your title like once a year, and I know the names on his resume, like you can see them right here. They're really good. DDP, dominant, 50-44. Robert Whittaker, round 1, neck crank submission. Kamaru Usman, you could argue it was a draw, but still, it is a win on paper. And if you're beating 3 former champs, honestly, man, dominant. But it's just who's ahead of him. Like, on the actual pound-for-pound list, he shouldn't, in my opinion, and I'll talk about it in a minute, he shouldn't be ahead of Alex Pereira. He shouldn't be ahead of, who else? Volk. He shouldn't be ahead of he just shouldn't. He just got the belt. We have to see. And he's already talking about wanting to fight Alex at heavyweight. Defend your belt first. Now, I like Khamzat. He is entertaining when he can be. But it's just like, come on, man. You just got the belt. At least defend it. And just add more to your legacy. You're already undefeated. You're dominating everybody. So, yeah, I think Khamzat, number 7, hot take. I know, very hot take. It's just who's ahead of him who's better, in my opinion. Number 6, Volk. Volk should be ahead of Khamzat. He reclaimed the belt at 36 years old when everybody thought that he's washed, he's too old. Nobody in the lighter weight classes had won the belt at 35 years or older. Volk did it. 3 wins over Max Holloway, with the third fight being a 50-45 domination. He has a win over a surging contender in Diego Lopez. That win is aging ever so better ever since his knockout finish over Gene Silva, who everybody was saying Gene Silva is going to finish Lopez and then he's going to murder Volk, this and that. He's going to style on Lopez. Then it's only inevitable for him to get a title shot. Just for that win, for Volk to age even better. TKO win over Yair Rodriguez. TKO over Korean Zombie. UD over Brian Ortega. Very close fight with Islam Makhachev the first time. And then in his Ilia Topuria fight, he did win the first round, and he was looking good. Honestly, if you ask me, any version of Volk, and it hurts me to say this is my favorite fighter, any version of Volk would have gotten knocked out by that punch that Ilia landed. I'm sorry. It hurts me to say that. This is my favorite fighter, but Ilia is just that good. But yeah, Volk is 36 years old, going on 37, or he already is 37, I think. Almost 40, and he is like, he dominated Diego Lopez 49-46, arguable 50-45. Made Lopez look like a moron on the feet. Insanely good striking, good volume, good cardio. And if he goes out there and he beats Murphy or Evloev, whoever they give him, if he wins his next fight, retire, GOAT, retire. You've done everything you can, retire. But yeah, 37 years old, winning a featherweight title. Nobody thought he could win the belt again. That's crazy, man. 37 years old with a lighter weight class title. Nobody has done that before. It's insane. So yeah, I think Volk should be ahead of Hamzat for him reclaiming the belt at 36. Better just like wins, honestly. In Max Holloway 3 times. Surging contender like Lopez. You could argue the wins, but Volk has a longer title reign. And yeah, his legacy is just so much more cemented than Hamzat's at the moment. But in the future, obviously, I could see Hamzat just surpassing him in legacy, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, entering the top 5. Number 5, I gotta have Poatan. Alex Pereira. Notable wins. This is where it gets good. And this is why he should be ahead of Hamzat. Magomed Ankalaev, former champ. Israel Adesanya, former champ. 2 wins over Yuri Prohaska, former champ. Win over Jan Blachowicz, former champ. Knockout win over Sean Strickland, former champ. The majority of Alex Pereira's wins in the UFC are former champs. So, in the first fight, he loses to Ankalaev. He had a broken hand. He was sick. He had already been fighting for like 3... He fought 3 times. He had quick turnarounds the year before. He was traveling. It looked like he wasn't really locked in. And he loses a close decision, in my opinion. He loses a close decision to Ankalaev. Then in the rematch, he's much more locked in. He's more focused on the fight. And he goes out there and he dominates Ankalaev with a first-round finish, making Ankalaev switch from southpaw to orthodox with the leg kicks, using the inside leg kicks, and catching Ankalaev with a booming right hand over the top, dropping him and then finishing him with ground and pound, making Ankalaev look like a fool. So and it's arguable. You could argue that either Izzy or Ankalaev is his best win. I think it's Izzy just because of the reign he was on. Everybody thought that Izzy was gonna style on Pereira, and Izzy was winning the fight, but that left hook, man, you can't count that patented left hook out. So yeah, then he has 2 wins over Yuri. The first win over Yuri, you could argue, was kind of a weird stoppage. However, in the second fight, he was dominating Yuri. First round, he was out striking him, and then at the end of the bell, he landed a clean left hook that drops Yuri, but the bell rang. Then in the second round, head kick finishes Yuri. Makes it look easy. Wins over Khalil Roundtree as well. Jamal Hill finishing him in 1 round. He did take Khalil to the 4th round, but there was, I do believe he was sick in that fight, but still he used good head movement, establishing the jab on Khalil. Then when he was in middleweight, knocks out Sean Strickland with a left hook. And then Sean Strickland after that goes on to be a champion. After Alex vacates and goes to, after Alex lost to Izzy the second time and goes up to light heavyweight, Sean Strickland became champ. So yeah, that win aged good. Jan Blachowicz, he beat Jan Blachowicz in a close decision, who was a former champ. So yeah, honestly, those wins alone, Alex should be ahead of Hamzat, in my opinion. Pound for pound, top 5. Not ahead of these next 4 though, just because he is a little bit older, and if he had beaten Ankalaev the first time, maybe, but yeah, Alex Pereira top 5 for sure though. On an insane run, former champs on former champs on former champs on his resume. So yeah, honestly, Alex Pereira is getting, in my opinion, a little disrespected on the pound for pound list, but that's neither here nor there. Moving on to number 4, I got Alexandre Pantoja. He's pretty much cleared out his whole division. Notable wins: 2 wins over Brandon Moreno. Kai Kara France fucking making Kai Kara look like a dumbass, submitting him in the 3rd, and smudge fest over Brandon Royval. If he wins against Van, that'll honestly add more, because Van is a really good contender. Beat Brandon Royval in honestly might be fight of the year, and if he beats Van, and if Merab beats Peter Yan, make that fight, bro. Make Merab versus Pantoja. I want to see that. And if Pantoja wins that, you could argue him top 3 pound for pound. You really could argue Pantoja top 3 pound for pound, because he would have beaten Merab, who was on a dominant run as well. But I just think, because it's another thing like heavyweight, his division is a little shallow. It just is a little shallow. But he pretty much has cleared the division. He's beating everybody in dominant fashion. Submitted Kaya Sakuda in the second round, although that win isn't aging the best. Submitted Kai Kara in the third round, making him look like a moron on the feet. Close fight to win the belt against Moreno, but he did win it. And then he beat Royval in December on that Covington Edwards card, I believe. So yeah, Pantoja top 5 for sure. And he was getting disrespected for a while on the pound for pound list. But yeah, happy to see him in the actual top 5 in the actual list. But I think he is top 4 in my list, aka the real pound for pound list. Entering the top 3, hot take. Hot fucking take. I gotta go with Islam. Now hear me out. He does have before Ilya had the best 2 back-to-back wins in my opinion, with that being a Volkanovski knockout and a knockout in Max Holloway. Islam had the 2 best back-to-back wins in a prime Charles Oliveira and a prime Volkanovski. He submitted Charles, who was going into that fight. Everybody was like, bro, if Charles gets him on the ground, Islam is done. And he submitted Charles. The first fight with Volk, beats him, close decision, controversial at the time, but I remember at first thinking Volk won, but I gotta say Islam won it, man. Islam did win that fight. The second fight with Volk, there is a lot of like things surrounding that fight. With Volk had a broken arm, he was fat, coming off the couch, took the fight on such a short notice, had to cut a lot of weight. But it's just one of those things like, come on. As much as as all of those things did happen, realistically, who would do that to Volk? Who would do that to Volk besides maybe like Ilya or like Ilya and Makhachev are realistically the only 2 guys who probably, maybe Max, but who probably would have done that to Volk. Like, I tell you this, like if like a jobber at lightweight were to fight that version of Volk would have won that fight. It just goes to show you how good Islam is. Really good. Most title defenses in lightweight history. Does have a win over Dustin Poirier. Who else does he have a win over? His win over Dan Hooker's pretty good. Dan Hooker's on like a 3-fight win streak. He does have a win over a younger Arman Tsarukyan. So yeah, I know, hot take, Islam at 3, but I do think, hear me out. Because if you think about it, Islam's title defenses, Fat Volk his last 3, Fat Volk off of the couch. Who else? Old grandma hit Poirier. Short notice Moicano. You compare that to number 2, Merab. Who did he have to defend? A young, hungry contender in Umar Nurmagomedov. Corey Sandhagen, who made it competitive, and 2 wins over Sean O'Malley, and a dominant decision over Peter Yan. Dude, I honestly have to give it. I think Merab is higher than Islam on the pound for pound list. Hot take, I know, but I just think the levels of the comp, the state of where they were at, I gotta give it to Merab. I think Merab should be higher than Islam. A hot take, I know. Now if Islam goes out there and if he if he does beat JDM, you might got to put him number 1. Honestly, you would, and honestly, go to the sport if he does get a second belt. But JDM's gonna win. But I got to go with Merab at number 2, man. When everybody going into the Umar fight was like, it's over for Merab. Umar's gonna starch him. And then Umar did win the first 2 rounds, but then after that, man, Merab's cardio is on another level. He honestly goes to show why cardio is the best base for MMA. Where he goes out there and he just shows Umar there's levels to this. Corey Sandhagen. The Corey Sandhagen fight was pretty competitive back and forth, but he almost finished Corey Sandhagen in the second round. And then before that, in his second title defense, submits Sean O'Malley. So he's adding striking and fit submissions to his game. At however old he is, 34, 35, I forget how old Merab is. However old he is, he's adding submissions and striking to his game. That is only going to make him much more dangerous. Pairing that with his cardio, oh my god. And it's probably going to be he will be Peter Yan in the rematch. It will be a little more competitive, but still, Peter Yan you can't just like, it's just hard to beat Merab. You honestly have to knock him out. If you can't finish Merab, you're not going to outlast him. I'm sorry. You're not going to outlast Merab on the feet or in any other domain just because of his gas tank. He honestly has to have a third lung, man. And if Merab beats Peter Yan, make the Pantoja fight. If he beats Pantoja, honestly cements him even more. And he's already bantamweight GOAT. He really is. Who the fuck has Dominic Cruz beaten? Dude, Merab would have made Dominic Cruz look like a dumbass. He would have schooled Dominic Cruz. So yeah, I think Merab number 2 over Islam. Hot take. Number 1, everybody should know this. Ilia Topuria. Oh, I didn't remove that bullet point. Oh well. Ilia Topuria, number 1, man. Knockouts on knockouts on knockouts. Knocked out Volkanovski, who had never lost a featherweight fight ever in his career. Ends his reign, right? Knocks out Max Holloway, who had never been knocked out before ever. Never even dropped, statistically. Never even been dropped in a fight ever. Knocks out Max Holloway in the 3rd round. And what he did to Charles Oliveira, he slipped Charles Oliveira's guard, puts him in crucifix, gets back on the feet, knocks him out in 1 round. Honestly, genuinely speaking, no bullshit. Who does that to Charles Oliveira? And these wins are only aging better. Charles Oliveira just got a win over Gamrot. Dominant fashion. Submits him in the 2nd round. Volk reclaimed his belt. Dominated Diego Lopez, 49-46. Max Holloway dominates Dustin Poirier, albeit aging, but still dominates Poirier in a 49-46, arguable 50-45 as well. These wins just keep aging better for Topuria. And if he's going to go out there, knocks out Gaethje, then after that, fights Arman Sarukian, then in between, maybe Patty or Islam, whatever comes first, he wins. GOAT of the sport, man. Ilia is just pound for pound number 1. There's no denying it. Already, he got a 2nd belt before Islam did in a quicker fashion. Think about that. Islam, he got a 2nd belt before Islam did. And Islam was in the UFC for a longer time. He's doing what Islam wants to do, and he's speed running it. Pound for pound GOAT, man. Honestly. And Volk is my favorite fighter. But man, do I fucking love watching Ilia Topuria. He is probably in like my top 5 favorites, man. I love watching Ilia Topuria so much. He's so fun to watch. He's just dominating everybody. He lost a round to Max Holloway, but knocked him out in the 3rd round, so it didn't matter. His power is unreal. Lost the 1st round to Volkanovski. Didn't matter. 2nd round. He backed him up against the cage, loaded up that hook, knocked him out. Charles Oliveira lands a beautiful combination. Slips Charles Oliveira's guard, puts him in crucifix, knocks him out in the 1st round. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Ilia is just looking unstoppable right now, man. He is looking unstoppable right now. It looks like nobody can beat him. And if Islam loses to JDM and he comes back down to 155, Ilia's gonna finish him, man. And I think so. And if they go to welterweight, it'll be competitive as well, I do believe. And I would favor Ilia in that matchup against Islam, but damn, man, it's just looking like nobody can beat Ilia right now. So yeah, that is my top 15 pound for pound, the real top 15 pound for pound, in my opinion. So yeah, thanks for watching. Peace out.